What if I were to tell you that Blink-182 could be the most influential rock band in American history? But not for the reasons you think. Really, stick around. I know. If I told me that a group of guys that got famous for toilet humor and running naked through the streets of San Diego were responsible for the capture of a dictator and the greatest government secret in human history, I'd tell me I was crazy. But the deeper you dig into the history of Blink-182, the weirder the reality comes. We aren't just talking about the band that sold 50 million albums and defined the 90s. We're talking about two men, Mark Hoppus and Tom DeLonge. One of them may have handed the US military the missing link to finding the most wanted man in the world. The other? He's the reason the Pentagon is currently testifying before Congress about non-human spacecrafts. Yeah, that's for real. Let's call it the Hoppus frequency. And the fall of Saddam Hussein. To set the scene, it's 2003 and the Iraqi war is in full swing. The US military is hunting for Saddam Hussein, who's disappeared into thin air. He's a ghost, but he's a ghost with a PR department. Every few weeks, he's releasing these grainy video messages taunting the coalition forces. The military is pulling their hair out. They can't track the tapes. They can't find the signal. Enter Mark Hoppus. Mark isn't just a bassist, he's a tech nerd. He loves gadgets, he loves recording software, and he understands how audio signals work. Blink is performing on the USS Nimitz, an aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf. After the show, Mark finds himself at a high-level dinner with a Navy Admiral. Now imagine this. You've got an admiral responsible for thousands of lives, millions in hardware, and Mark Hoppus leans over a steak and says, "I know how you can catch him." Mark's idea was brilliant in its simplicity. It's called acoustic fingerprinting. Saddam's videos were recorded in secret locations and hand-delivered to news stations. There were no live signals to trace. So Mark suggested the US fly drones over Iraq in a grid, each one broadcasting a unique high-frequency watermark that's completely silent to the human ear. The trap is set. When Saddam recorded his next message, his microphone, even a cheap one, would pick up the silent frequency in the background. Once the US got the tape, they just have to run it through a spectrum analyzer. If they heard frequency A, they knew which 5-mile grid Saddam was hiding in. Frequency B, another 5-mile grid. Basic math, it works out. Mark details this in his memoir, Fahrenheit 182. The Admiral didn't laugh him off. He took notes. He said, "I'm meeting with Joint Chiefs next week. I'm bringing this up. Fast forward to December 2003, Saddam is found in a hole in the ground. Is it coincidence? Mark doesn't think so, and neither do the people who know how advanced intelligence signals work. And neither do I." But while Mark was helping the military with earthly problems, Tom DeLonge was looking at the stars. For 20 years, Tom was the joke of the music industry. He was the guy who would corner interviewers to talk about Roswell and the others. In 2015, he did the unthinkable. He left Blink-182 at the peak of their comeback and walked away. Why? To start the To the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences.
Early this year, I set out to do something pretty challenging. I wanted to shift perception on an extraordinary topic that had already over 70 years of research, opinion, and frankly quite effective disinformation. I had the rare opportunity to present my ideas to an executive with the Department of Defense who worked in special access programs in an area called Watertown, also known as Area 51. That meeting led to multiple clandestine encounters across the United States, from desert airports to vacant buildings deep within Washington, D.C. From these exchanges, I learned three things. One, there are certain things that should never have been secret. Two, there are secrets that were justifiable at the time but should now be disclosed. And three, there are things that are so unimaginable that certain interests believe that they should never, ever be made public. After this, you might even agree.
People thought he'd lost it. He was posting grainy photos of triangles on Instagram, talking about the program. But Tom wasn't just a fanboy, he was a strategist. He realized that the only way to get the truth was to treat the government like a record label. You don't fight them, you partner with them. Look at the roster Tom built with To the Stars. Jim Semivin, former CIA Senior Intelligence Officer. Chris Mellon, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence. Luis Elizondo, the man who literally ran the Pentagon's secret UFO program, ATIP. Tom used his rock star status as a skeleton key to open doors that even senators couldn't open. He became the useful conduit for high-level officials who wanted the truth out but couldn't risk their careers. This is where the story stops being about pop punk and starts being about human history. In December 2017, the New York Times published a full-page story, Glowing Auras and Black Money, the Pentagon's mysterious UFO program. Along with that story, they released videos, FLIR, Gimbal, and Go Fast. These were official Navy cockpit videos showing craft doing 20,000 miles an hour, stopping on a dime, and dropping from 80,000 feet to sea level in a second. Where did those videos come from? They came from To the Stars. They came from Tom DeLonge. Since that day, the dominoes haven't stopped falling because of Tom's work. The Navy updated its reporting guidelines for pilots. The UAP task force was formed. In 2023, we saw the historic congressional UAP hearing. Major figures like David Grush have come forward under oath to claim that the U.S. has intact and partially intact craft of non-human origin. If you go back and watch those hearings, Tom DeLonge's name is mentioned. Not as a singer, but as a catalyst. Without Tom, the 70-year-old UFO taboo would still be firmly in place. We would still be in the dark. So let's look at the scoreboard. Mark Hoppus provides a potential blueprint for the signal-based counterinsurgency that catches a world-class dictator. Tom DeLonge manages to penetrate the highest levels of military-industrial complex to force a conversation about the greatest mystery in the universe. Individually, they're tech-savvy geniuses. Together, they might be the most connected duo in the history of music. We grew up listening to them sing about being teenagers, but it turns out they were the ones paying the most attention to how the world actually works. Mark caught the bad guy on the ground. Tom is catching the good guys in the sky. I'm Jimmy, and if you guys appreciate this content, click like, click subscribe, and stay curious. Check out your frequencies and keep looking up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much.